to do this thing. I'm going to commit to God. I want to know God better. I want to be real with God. I want to be able to open up myself to God and have God open up to me and just know God. And this is what I'm going to do. Once we make that up in our mind, He's not just going to say, oh, well, they done committed to God. I might as well leave them alone. It don't work like that. What He's going to do is turn up the heat. He's going to come at you harder. He's going to come at you worse. He's going to give you more financial troubles. He's going to give you a lot more harder times. He's going to have people just disliking you and hating you for no reason. He's going to have all kinds of things happening because He wants to discourage you and make you believe that you just made a bad decision, that you just did the wrong thing, that you were better off without all of that. And you're going to have people come to you and say some of those words. They might say, well, man, you crazy, man. It don't take all that. You don't need to do this. And you don't need to do that. You don't have to be in church every Sunday. And you don't need to go to every revival. And you don't need this and you don't need that. All kinds of things. But in your heart, you know it. You feel the tugging of God telling you, yeah, you need to go tonight. Yeah, you need to go again tomorrow night. Yeah, you need to be at this service. And this is God talking to you now. This is not man telling you, hey, you need to be here. This is God talking to your spirit. And you feel that pulling and you feel that tugging. But the enemy is using people to tell you they don't take all that. But in your heart, you feel what God is saying. You feel God calling you and saying, yeah, I need you here tonight. I need you here tomorrow night. I need you to be at this revival all week long. I need you to take this trip and follow Pastor out here to this place and follow Pastor out here to that place because I got a word for you. I got things for you, and you need to come. You're hearing all this from God at the same time the enemy's fighting in your other ear telling you, no, I don't take all that, man. You got to work tomorrow, man. You're going to be tired if you go to church this night or that night. Man, I wouldn't drive all the way out there if I was you. I wouldn't ride all the way out there. You know you ain't got no car. If you ride with them, you ain't be able to come and leave when you get ready. You're going to have to wait on them. Telling you all these things, trying to block the relationship. Telling you all these things, trying to, we got blockers. You know how we call them in the world. We got blockers, try to block the relationship. When you and your friend that started a relationship, and you got blockers and haters that will come and try to block the relationship. Well, the devil is your biggest hater. He's going to come and try to block the relationship between you and God. He's going to say things to try to block the relationship. He's going to try to plant seeds to get you to block the relationship, to get you to turn around and think twice about every decision that you're trying to make when it comes to God. He's going to try to get you to second guess yourself and second guess God and doubt the words. You're going to read the words and you say, well, it don't really mean that, even though God is giving you, spiritually giving you the understanding, giving you the meaning, but the enemy's going to come right along. It don't really mean that. It doesn't literally mean that. That's just figuratively speaking. It says that, but it doesn't really mean that. And all these things are just coming to block the relationship. And see, this is why we have to strengthen our relationship and get into the commitment part and see, get beyond the dating and go steady. Because when I go steady, when I go steady with a person and I'm spending time, a real intimate time, not time that I'm spending because I want to get something, but time that I'm spending because I want to know the person. I just want to know more about you. I just want to get and feel closer to you. I want to know all about you. I want to know your likes, your dislikes, what you like to do, what your dreams and aspirations are, and what your vision is for your life, and where you see yourself 5, 10 years from now. I want to know all about you. I want to know your favorites and the things that make your skin crawl, the things that scare. I want to know your fears. I just want to know everything about you. See, when you start learning them things, and then when people try to come in between the relationship, you can say, no, that ain't my baby. Say, I know my baby. I know my baby didn't like that. See, and that's how I feel about my God. I said, you can't come and talk to me and make me doubt God. There's nothing you can say to me to make me second guess God, because I know God for myself. I've been in a relationship with Him for quite a spell right now, and there's nothing you can say that's going to block what's going on between me and God. There's nothing you can say. There's people that told me, well, maybe you shouldn't church so early. Maybe you could get people to come out to your service if you don't church so early. I'm not worried about changing church service because this is the time that God told me. So whoever is going to come, they're going to get up early. The people that God wants me to speak to are people that don't mind getting up a little early, that don't mind getting up and getting themselves together just a little bit earlier than they used to, because whatever God has to say, He has to say it to those people. Sure, the 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock service for some people is fine because there's certain people that they have to talk to, but God has already told me there's certain people that I have to speak to, and those people want to get up a little bit early. Those people don't mind getting up a little early and hearing hear what God has to say, getting the jump start on their day and getting their day started in the right way. They don't mind that. So I know I'm doing the right thing at the right time. And I'm not going to adjust it or just change it just a little bit to please man, because then I'd be taken away from the relationship. It's just like, I know how my wife likes certain meals prepared, and I go to prepare a meal, and then a friend of mine comes in and says, well, you know, if I was you, I wouldn't put all that in there. And I cooked it last week, and I put a bunch of this in there. And I'm listening to them and putting what they put in there and cooking it how they think it should be. But then the moment I do that, I stop preparing it for my wife, because I know how my wife likes it. Now I'm preparing it how my friend likes it. And I'm doing it the way my friend would do it. So now I stop pleasing my wife and I'm trying to please my friend. Now I have to make a decision. Am I going to please my wife or am I going to please my friend? Now if I've made up in my mind that I'm doing this for my wife, then I'm going to please my wife. So it doesn't matter what ingredients you bring in or what testimonies you give or how great your meal was when you cooked it your way. I'm pleasing my wife. Same thing applies in this walk. I'm pleasing my God. This is what my God has told me to do. So I stand in this room, whether I stand in this room alone or full to capacity, I preach and teach the same way, because I'm not preaching and teaching for people. I'm preaching and teaching for God, because God has brought me to this calling. God has brought me to this place in my life, and God has given me specific instructions on what He wants me to do and how He wants me to do it. So I'm fulfilling my destiny by pleasing my God. I'm fulfilling my commitment. I'm going steady. I'm fulfilling my relationship with God first. Everything else is secondary. And so we have to get to that point in our relationship with God that everything else is secondary. We have gotten to that place with people from time to time and say, this is my girl, and this is my boyfriend, and everything else is secondary. I'm going to make sure that they're happy. If they're happy and they're good, everybody else can come after them. But what about God? God is saying, that's all I'm trying to be to you, because that's all you are to me. Everything else is secondary. We have a lot of bad things that happen in our life. But when we look back on it, we see the good that has come out of it, because it might have looked bad when it was happening, but God was in control, and He knows that you are favored and special to Him. So, and everything else is secondary. When it comes to the children of God, we are His number one priority. Everything else is secondary. All the things that happen on the earth are secondary to how He feels about us. It is secondary how the economy is going. It's secondary how the government is going, how the environment is going. All that is secondary to us. We are His children, and He wants the best for us. He makes sure that the things work out for us, even though it might be a period of time where you have to go through some struggle and some strife in your life. But at the end, if you pay attention, and if you keep your connection with God, you're going to learn something out of it. You're going to be stronger and better for it. Think about all the things that you've gone through in your life and how much you've learned from it. Think about the hardships that you've gone through and how hard it was. And you might have shed some tears during the process. But now that you look back, look how much better you are as a person for it. Look how much stronger you are as an individual for it. Some of the people that have hurt you through your life, and you say, well, why that had to happen? Why that had to happen? But examine yourself. And think about what you've learned from those heartaches and heartbreaks, those disappointments in life. Think about how stronger you are now than you were before. Think of how more intelligent and smarter you are about relationships and about things that can happen in life. See, you have to see the bigger picture. And sometimes we're so close to a thing that we can't really see what's going on. As if I'm so close to the mic, all I see is the head of the mic. I don't see the body of the mic, the connection. I don't see the wire or nothing. All I see is the head of the mic. But when I back up, I can see the whole picture. I can see how the mic works, how to turn it off and on. I can see how to disconnect the connection that takes it to the amp that brings the sound out of the speaker. I can kind of see how it works. I can see what's holding it up in the air and the arm of it and the extension of it and how it all works. I can see it when I back up and take a look at it. And sometimes we have to take life like that. We have to back up and look at everything that's going on. And there's some bad parts and there's some good parts. But if you pay attention, you can learn something. And the whole point of life is learning as you go. This is on-the-job training. This is how we learn as we go. That's how I learned barbering. I learned barbering on the job, by cutting hair, by making mistakes. I boxed some heads up. I hit some bald spots. I made some lopsided hairlines. I pushed some hairlines back. But it was all a learning